All right, welcome. We are live and welcome, Facebook world. I'm Dr. Simmons, my wife Vanessa Simmons, and we're Simmons Specific Chiropractic. So if you haven't already, please feel free to like us. If you're watching this as it's taped and you're not watching us live, be sure to like us. And also, you can like us on Instagram at SC Chiropractic, or SS Chiropractic, rather, I'm sorry, SS Chiropractic. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, and we also have a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. Where we're going to host a lot of these different videos as along the way as we go. We also want to let you know of our 3 Facebook groups that we have. One being Healthy Family, so feel free to share tips on what you do with your family. We're going to share tips what we do with our families and have all kinds of different suggestions and things out there with those. We'll have a Healthy Lifestyle, so just for those of you who want just a healthy lifestyle, maybe you're not living the healthy lifestyle. Maybe you want to. Maybe you want to know more information about it. Feel free to get into that as well. So, and then also we have our healthy weight loss. So there's definitely a right way and a wrong way to lose weight. And what we're going to do is give you some tips and strategies how to do it in a healthy way that maybe can grow for not only for you but for the entire family. So we encourage you to like those groups. Those are 3 groups that we do have on Facebook. We're also going to be here live again on Wednesday with the question and answers with me, the doctor. And then we'll also be live on Friday. So we're going to be live on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. But Vanessa has something she's going to talk to you guys about, a way to win some cool stuff and also be healthy in the same time. So Vanessa, would you like to share that?
All right, so there's 16 days left until our basket is going to be drawn. The winner of our basket is going to be on April 29th, the last Ask the Doctor of April. So you want to be in for this. We have 2 baskets available, and you want to be in this drawing for this. So there's two ways to be in this drawing. One way is to refer patients into our office. There's people out there needing our services, and we are here for those people. And the second way is to share, and to share our live events. And if I'm share our live events. And so you can go back, even after they've been viewed previously, you can reshare those to friends and family. If you share them 4 times to 4 different people, then you can you'll have your name put in for the drawing. So those are the 2 ways that you can be in the drawing for the baskets. And again, they're going to be given out April 29th. April 24th, we are actually having a cleaning supply event live on Facebook as well. So watch for that. It's April 24th on a Friday. And there's the supply list that you'll need to be a part of that if you want to actually make the supplies along with our event are available here at our office. And these are the types of products that we're doing. So we have samples available in our office. We're giving them out today and tomorrow as well. So these are the samples that we've already created in advance that we're going to be showing on Facebook Live how to do this at home so you can have good, healthy cleaning products. They're safe and natural for your family.
All right, so excellent. So thank you for that. And what we're going to do, basically, I just want to reiterate one more time. So if you're watching this live, that's great. But if you're not, if it's already been pre-recorded rather for you and you're checking it out, feel free to still share it. So it doesn't have to be shared live, so it can be shared at any time. But today, what we're going to talk about is this little guy. What is this? This is your spine. So we're going to talk about the spine a little bit today. You didn't know you're going to be signing up for anatomy classes, right? So we're going to go over this a little bit with you. And basically what we want to do is break down the spine into 3 different classifications, if you will. So here's the entire spine. So the top part of your spine is known as your neck, or called the cervical spine. The mid-back is your thoracic or mid-back. As I mentioned, the lower is the low here, which is called the lumbar. So we want to make sure we kind of understand those little areas here. Now, why are we talking about this and what are we going to get into? Well, as an infant, as an infant, you're basically born with one curve in your spine called the primary curve. And basically your spine, when you're born, is kind of like a S or a C shape, just like this, okay? So we're going to talk about why these curves are so important and how we can facilitate those. So this is why, if you've ever heard the term tummy time is extremely important, because what tummy time does is actually helps develop our secondary curves, which is our low back or lumbar and our neck or our cervical curve. So again, remember, you're born with that primary curve, the mid-back thoracic spine. But if you've ever seen a child, or if you've ever put a child on their tummy, you'll probably observe a couple things. One is their feet usually will go right up in the air, just like this. And what that's doing is help to rock this pelvic forward a little bit. And of course, if they're face down, what they're going to do is turn their head up. And notice how it develops this curve here. So we do see these curves being developed and how they can protect you later in life. So the important thing about them is that as the tummy time, so the next question comes up sometimes, how often should they be on their tummy, or for how long, or what age and whatnot. And just to be an open statement on this, there's obviously no magical age that they should be, or magical time frame. However, it's highly recommended that around 2 months, 3 months, and that's what we did with our children. So around that 2-month mark, we basically give them tummy time. And you want to build up to a certain amount of time frame. It'd be nice to actually get them where they can actually be on their tummy time, through about an hour throughout the day, essentially, which would be nice. But you have to build up to that. You're not going to put a 2-month-old on their belly or on their tummy right away. So maybe you put them on their tummy for 3 minutes, 5 minutes. See where they're at. Everyone's a little different because, if they don't even have the strength to hold their head up, then you're not going to want to keep them face down on there. But you got to develop that and build that. So that will help again. And then as they start to crawl, once they're used to their tummy time, what happens here? That low back will sag right into place. And notice what we're developing, a low back curve. In order for them to see where they're going, what do they have to do? Lift their head up again, and it develops that neck curve. So these curves are very, very important to you. We're going to explain the next part of this, why they're so important. But we want to make sure you understand that you have these curves. A lot of people don't know. Now keep in mind, as we look at the spine from the front, we don't want any curves. As we look at it from the back, we don't want any curves. As we look at it from the side, we want these curves. This curve and the low back curve right through here. So keep those in mind as well. Now, why are the curves so important? Well, the curves do many things, but one of their major functions are they act as a shock absorber, okay? So in other words, when you're doing certain things, and if you step or jump, that's going to act as a spring, okay? So it acts as a spring through here. Same with your neck area here through here. So these areas are very, very important to allow that process to take place. So think about this, for example. If any of you have ever jumped off, even just a little step, for example, or curve, do you lock your legs straight or do you bend your knees? Of course you bend your knees. The reason why you do that is to allow for that cushion in there. Sometimes there's some school of thought that are taught that the discs, which are these stuff between the bones, are actually the shock absorber or the cushion, and that's not true. Really what they do is allow for turning of the spine. So sometimes people have said to us, or like, well, isn't the disc like a jelly donut? Couldn't get the words out. A jelly donut, really soft? No, not at all. Matter of fact, they're a thick, fibrocartilaginous material, very tough, very durable, okay? So they allow for rotation of that. They do not compress down, but your curves are what allow that. So it acts like a spring, just like this. So why is this important again? We talked about, well, because the nerves come right up between the side. And we're starting to see more and more, if you've ever heard the term tech neck, okay? Tech neck. For technology, it could be anything. It could be an iPhone, it could be an iPad, it could be a computer, anything that you use in that. What's happening is most cases the head is like this. So if I look at it from the side, I'll say I'm on my phone, look at my head and neck, flex forward. Well, your spine, which we can't see, obviously, right, but it's in there, it's doing the same thing. So what are you doing every time you're doing that? You're actually counterintuitively straightening out the curve in your spine. So then they end up looking forward, they go like this. So we're losing that curve in there. So we want to make sure we're careful with that. The number one thing to determine that, of course, is we can take x-rays, we can do different tests and stuff to find out. And the number one thing to correct that is obviously a spinal adjustment or a chiropractic adjustment. So that's with the neck portion. So those are different things that we want to be involved with in understanding those different curves of the neck there.
All right, so from what I'm understanding is we have to have these three curves.
Yes.
Our cervical curve, the mid-back curve, the low back curve, correct?
Yes.
The cervical, thoracic, and lumbar.
Yes.
And why is it so important to have those curves for the cushion and the, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, the shock absorber of the spine. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it puts pressure on the nerves going out as well when
yes.
they're not lined up properly.
Exactly. So if you think about it this way, the way your body is created, it's created to have these curves. So these nerves are positioned in such a way that the opening is the largest. So when we compress that, it's going to make that opening smaller. And that's going to compress the nerve, or potentially compress the nerve. And then not only that, one thing we're not talking about is as this straightens out, what do you think it does to all these muscles that are attached on both sides? It's going to elongate them. It's going to stress them. So a lot of times patients will say, oh, I have muscle spasms or whatnot, and there's really nothing wrong with the muscle per se, but it's because the curve has lost its normal position. And I think we mentioned this on one of our other feeds or talks, was the fact that the NIH, which stands for the National Institute on Health, says, according to them, the #1 cause of low back pain is losing that lordosis in your low back. And that's something that we as chiropractors have been talking about for 125 years. So what we do is we adjust the spine, and when we adjust the spine, that curve has been, or can be restored. But we want to stress on, again, it is so important to have the fundamental curves there from an infant to a little toddler. Okay, so once you develop that, that's why sometimes we'll hear people say like, "Oh, I never crawled at all. I went right from this to walking." And as a chiropractor, we're always like, because we understand the importance of what crawling can do for the spine and to develop those curves in the spine. And we want to make sure we have that foundation. So if you were one of those people who never really crawled much, you definitely want to be seen by a chiropractor, or at least analyzed by one, just to make sure that those curves aren't in a bad position, so to speak. So
as an adult, if we do have text neck, would those types of exercises on the floor be helpful as an adult as well?
Yeah, great question. So there's definitely a lot of different things you can do. Again, if we're tech neck, sometimes you can't tell from the exterior. It's more of what the spine's doing interiorly. But so there's certain things that we can do. And the #1 thing that we would obviously want you to do is to get examined by a chiropractor first and foremost. Then, because without those bones, because when they go forward, they can go out of position. And then when they go out of position, they can put direct pressure on these nerves. So we want to make sure we're restoring that in a proper way. So that's the #1 thing you want to do, is obviously get checked by the chiropractor to determine the position of those bones. But there's a lot of different things. Yes, you can actually, we did some stretches before, kind of like the cat, which you're on your hands and knees. Again, that's going to help drop that low back. It's going to bring your head up again. So those are things that, yes, can ultimately affect the curves in your spine, which are very easy to do at home, especially, I think you have some time right now, right? I think a little bit maybe. So you can definitely do those at home right now. So it'd be an easy task to perform.
Okay, so I want to remind you about our gift basket. We are giving out the last Wednesday, Ask the Doctor, in April on the 29th. There's 2 gift baskets available to be given out, and there's ways to be a part of that. So there's only 16 days left to be into that drawing, so you want to refer your people into our office to get the care that we have to offer. And we also want you to share our live videos to 4 people to get put into the drawing as well. So share these videos with other people that might have interest and being put in for the drawing for this gift basket. And watch out for our special event on Friday, the 24th, April 24th, Tyler's birthday. But we're going to have cleaning supplies that we're going to be explaining how to make and to use at home. So these are the samples that we're giving out here at the office of these supplies that we're talking about earlier. So like and share us on Facebook and get involved with those groups, Healthy Lifestyles, Healthy Families, and Healthy Weight Loss.
And keep in mind, if you are an Instagram user, look us up on Instagram. Or if you are a tweeter and you like Twitter, look us up on Twitter. Also, if you are a YouTuber, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to it. We have all kinds of cool things. And again, we're so excited that you're here. And remember that you can share this at any time. We'd love to have that. And also, Wednesday is Ask the Doctor Q&A with me. So if you have any questions, think about them now, and we can answer them live. Or you can always email us in, and we can also answer it on that time. So again, Simmons Pacific Chiropractic, Dr. Simmons, my wife Vanessa, thank you for joining, and have a wonderful day.